Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you are notified of all of my future videos. My name is Heather. I am a homeschooling mom of 3 kids and we are going into our 11th year of homeschooling. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the Brave Writer choices that I have for my 3 kids for the 2021-2022 homeschool year. If you do not know what Brave Writer is an English and language arts program that was created by Julie Bogart. You can find more information about it at bravewriter.com. I will leave a link in the description box for you. It is made up of a couple of different things. A mechanics and literature guide, which are called Dart, Arrow, Boomerang, and Slingshot. Based on the age of your child. Dart is for the youngest, Slingshot is for high school, and then writing projects. There are several programs that you can choose from for writing projects. Starting with the youngest is Jot It Down, then Partnership Writing, Faltering Ownership, and then Help for High School. We have used Partnership and Faltering Ownership for the past several years. So Brave Writer is definitely outside of the box when you think of English and language arts for homeschool curriculum. Usually with homeschool curriculum, you get a lot of worksheets, a lot of diagramming sentences, a lot of grammar worksheets, and spelling rules. And so Brave Writer is definitely different. It is a parent-intensive program, at least in my mind it is, because you are learning through literature, which means you have to be reading the books with your kids and going through the guides each month, as well as the writing projects are not just here's your writing prompt, write your paper, let's edit it, and then final draft. There's a lot more to it, but this is how we have been doing ELA for several years now, and I love it. I will leave information in the description box about Brave Writer. There is a program called The Writer's Jungle that she puts out that really goes into the whole Brave Writer lifestyle, and Julie has written a book called The Brave Learner, which I recommend to all homeschoolers, no matter if you're a beginner homeschooler or a veteran. I think she has a lot of great encouragement in that book. So I am going to start with my oldest, Emma, who would be in 8th grade if she were in public school, and we are doing a combination of arrows and boomerangs. And the arrows are technically for 11 and 12-year-olds. 11 and 12-year-olds, and she's 13. The boomerangs are for 13 to 14. However, some of the books that she will be reading this year with the Sunlight program that we are using, Brave Writer has an arrow for them, so I am going to be using that. So I'm going to read through the book list that I have for her. The first book that we're going to start with in August is The Green Ember. We are actually reading the last of the Green Ember book series, the last book in the series right now. We read the first one, I don't know if it was in the winter or if we finished it around Christmas last year, but this is really just to get a fresh start into the new homeschool year. This is for August when we're trying to get back into a good homeschool rhythm. So I thought starting with a book that we've read and we love already is a good way to start. I am all about the slow start at the beginning of the school year. I have a video about it, so I will leave that for you. So we are going to start with The Green Ember, which is an arrow. And then for September, I have The Hunger Games, and October, Catching Fire. And the reason that we're doing these 2 books is Emma got these books, this series, for her birthday in May, and she has finished The Hunger Games and is reading Catching Fire right now. And I try to include books that she wants to read as well as books that we are going to be reading for our homeschool year for the book choices that I have. My kids have a lot of input into their reading. We are literature-based homeschoolers, so we do a lot of reading, but I want them to feel connected to the books that they are doing the ELA portion, not just reading the books and discussing them with me, but more the copy work and all of that. I like to have their input for these books. So then in November, The Hunger Games and Catching Fire are both boomerangs in Brave Writer. The book for November is Fish in a Tree, and that is a book that is part of our literature selections from Sunlight, and that is an arrow. In December, she's going to be doing a boomerang of A Christmas Carol. In January, we are going to be doing a boomerang of Great American Short Stories. In February, we are going to be doing a boomerang of The Giver. In March, we're going to be doing a boomerang of Hidden Figures, which I believe is the Young Readers edition. In April, The Phantom Toll Booth, which is an arrow. And then in May, Echo, which is a boomerang. And so those are all of the book choices for mechanics and literature that we will be doing. Now, each week there is a specific copywork passage, and they concentrate on a different writing element, and there's little activities throughout the month. And it's really just a fun way to learn language arts through literature. I really enjoy it. I definitely recommend it. How I choose my books is a little different. I know that you can purchase a full year program with all new books that they release on the first day of the month. And so every year Julie does like a live video of a reveal of all of the new books for the next year. And last year was the first year that we watched it live, and my kids were so excited about the books last year, and we had a great year with those books. This year we did watch again live. My kids were not really excited about the books. They hadn't heard of most of them. The descriptions of the books were not as interesting to them. So we are not using the majority of the new books for this new homeschool year. But there are so many single issues available on Brave Writer, and a lot of them coincide with books that we read for Sunlight already, which is the base curriculum that we use for our homeschool. So I am able to then go through the list of books that we're reading from Sunlight and pick and choose some of those books to use for arrows and boomerangs for Emma and Jack, and then also let them choose some books, which is why we're doing part of the Hunger Games and the Green Ember, because these are books that my kids really enjoy. So next I'm going to go through Jack's books. He has some books that we are combining with Emma, and some that he's going to be doing on his own. I do not have a book for every month for him. It's a little bit different because he's, 10, and I don't want to overwhelm him. It is a lot of work in addition to our other school. And so I think that for us personally, for his age, having a few less books on the schedule is helpful for me and for him as well. So the first book in August is going to be The Green Ember, and that is an arrow. I'm combining Emma and Jack for that first book. I think it will be a good way to start out the year. The next book for September is Leon Garfield's Shakespeare Stories. These are all going to be arrows for Jack. He's going to have a few more books in the fall because Emma has read a lot of the fall books already. Or I have read them, like The Green Ember we've already read. So I know that when I'm reading books to Jack, I'm not going to be doubling up with Emma as well, at least at the beginning of the year. So September, Leon Garfield, Shakespeare Stories. Then in October, we're going to be doing How to Eat Fried Worms. In November, Fish in a Tree. Again, that's an arrow that I'm combining with Emma, and that is because it's part of the program that we're using from Sunlight this year. In December, I have The Lion of Mars on here. I'm not sure if it's going to be a book that he is interested in or not. It's really hard for me to find books that keep Jack's interest. We are literature-based homeschoolers, and we use Sunlight as our base curriculum, and that is based mainly around historical fiction, and he does not always enjoy that. Emma is great with the historical fiction, although sometimes she gets a little bogged down and wants more fantasy. But Jack, I have a hard time finding books that he wants to devour. Pretty much all of the books that we own that he loves, he's read already. He's a quick reader. And so we're going to try a couple of new books this year and see how it goes. I ordered The Lion of Mars, and I'm going to have him start reading it, and if he's not interested in the storyline, we will put it away for probably next year. In January, I don't have anything for him, and then in February, we have The One and Only Ivan, and I love to do a book and then a movie, so we will watch the movie at the end of that. In March, I do not have anything, and then in April, I will be combining Emma and Jack with The Phantom Tollbooth. Again, that is one of the books that they are reading for Sunlight this year. So that is the last arrow for Jack for this year. Now, for my youngest, Lucy, I am going to be getting 5 darts for her. These are all darts that I already own, and the reason that I am starting her with these books is because I own them, and these are all books that we were planning on reading for her first grade year. She is a little young for the dart. She will be 7 for this school year, and the dart is recommended for 8 to 10. So I'm not sure how it's going to go, but because we were reading these books anyway for this year, and because I already own the darts for these books, I'm going to see how it goes. Now, she will most likely do the copy work, and then we may discuss some of the writing elements, but I'm not sure how in-depth it will be, and that's okay. This is just an idea at the moment. We're reading the books anyways. If all she does out of the dart is copy work and maybe do a couple of discussion questions, that's totally fine. But I think some of the little projects she will enjoy, and it will help connect her to the books a little bit better. So I've only chosen 5 books for her, and we're starting in September with Charlotte's Web. And then in November, we are going to do Mr. Popper's Penguins. And then in January, The Mouse and the Motorcycle. In March, The Prairie Thief. And then finally in May, The Trumpet of the Swan. Now, again, I already own darts for all of these books, so it is not anything more for me to print out some copywork pages for her, which is essentially all that I have to do. I did not mention at the beginning, but all of these literature guides are PDF files that you receive and then you print out on your own for use, or you can use it off of a tablet or a computer if you want. I print them because I like to have the paper copy in front of me. It's easier. Now, this is only one part of the Brave Writer program, the literature and mechanics portion. We are also going to be using some of the writing projects guides. I don't really know how to describe them. So we are going to try Jot It Down for Lucy. Jot It Down is a program for 5 to 8-year-olds. It's, I think it starts out with like fairy tales. I think these projects will be fun. We will not do one every month because, like I said at the beginning, it is pretty parent intensive. So I will alternate months with the darts and writing projects for Lucy. We have not used the Jot It Down program before, but we have used partnership writing and faltering ownership, and both of those I really love. So for Emma and Jack, I am going to be doing partnership writing and faltering ownership. So Emma started with partnership writing maybe when she was 9, I think, 8 or 9. And we have gone through most of those projects and then started with faltering ownership for her. she is on the tail end of the faltering ownership and should be going into help for high school, but I do want to work a little bit more on research and writing projects. My kids actually enjoy doing the research portion of writing projects and writing out note cards and making notes and looking up information, but then figuring out how to compile all of that information is a little more challenging. And so that's something that we're going to be working on this year. Jack is kind of on the cusp between partnership writing and faltering ownership. So I will be doing some projects from partnership writing and some projects from faltering ownership for both of them. And I just adjust my expectations for Emma since she is older. And I think that we are going to get the Help for High School program. It's supposed to be done by the student individually. However, I think that I'm still going to have a lot of input for Emma with that program. I'm not just going to give her a copy of this program and let her go through it. I think she's going to need more help. And we probably will not start that program until January, but we'll see how the fall goes and how the writing projects are going. The great thing about these writing projects in these two programs, we've been using them for several years now, but you know, just because you're doing the same project doesn't mean it has to be on the same topic, and you can work through it in a different way with different ideas, and I think that it just helps the kids improve overall. So we're going to be using all of the writing programs that Brave Writer offers this year, and I'm really looking forward to it. I, again, love Brave Writer. I love the encouragement that Julie provides through her podcast and her blog. And when I found her several years ago, it was like a breath of fresh air because I finally had somebody kind of echoing back what I had been thinking about as far as homeschool philosophy and how we run our days. Yeah, so if you have any questions about any of these books or programs, please leave me a comment below. Like I said, I will have more curriculum videos hopefully this week for you guys to watch. You will see some overlap because I am combining my kids in some things, but not in all things. So there will be a little bit of overlap in the videos. I thought about doing a family subjects video, which I may still do. However, it's not really a family subject because Lucy isn't necessarily doing the same things that Jack and Emma are doing. So we'll see how it goes. It might be a jumble, but that's okay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.